On this episode of Team Pilipinas, 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐲 has won her first world-level championship and jumping into karate's global top 10. She is now making a serious run at a ticket to Tokyo.
I'm the most confident now because of that. I know I can do it. Even my opponent is strong, I can do it.
And we look back on the days of glory of Olympian and outstanding female SEA Games athlete, 𝐓𝐞𝐚𝐦 𝐏𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐳.
All these wonderful opportunities would not have come to me if not for my involvement in sports. And it's also God's hand, right?
It has been a long road for 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐳 to a top 10 world ranking. She finally got it in Lisbon, Portugal less than 2 weeks ago. Now that an Olympic spot is within reach, how does she plan to go for it? Nisi Cassiano spoke to her from Aranđelovac in Serbia.
Welcome to Team Pilipinas. I'm Nisi Cassiano. It looks like the Olympic dream of Filipina karateka 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢 is within her reach after capturing the gold medal in Lisbon to elevate to number 8 in the world rankings. She now has the opportunity to bolster her position and punch a ticket to Tokyo in an Olympic qualifier in Paris this coming June. Today, 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥 will join us to share how she's going to turn that dream into reality. First of all, 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥, thank you for being on the program and congratulations for winning the gold medal in the 2021 Karate 1 Premier League.
Maraming salamat po.
Well, speaking of that tournament, when you took your final bow after the fight, you seemed to be emotional. What was going through your mind at that very moment?
I was looking back on the past I had taken to that point. Like I travel alone over the world for the training or hard work or anything. So I was looking back for that way.
You won a gold medal in Serbia, and recently you won another one. You won another one in Portugal. But you started off 2021 on a challenging note by getting eliminated in the qualifiers in Istanbul, Turkey. Where did you get that drive and motivation to bounce back from that defeat and hold on to your dream of making it to Tokyo?
I know it wasn't easy from the time I decided on this challenge, because Olympic is everybody aim, everybody do effort for that. So it's not easy. I know before I decided on this challenge, but I always can't sleep after when I losing. Few days I can't sleep from frustrated, but I should use that to motivate myself to improve. So sometimes your feeling is good motivate for you for happiness, but sometimes you need also frustrated for you be strong.
The recently concluded event in Lisbon hosted a ton of the world's best athletes in karate, including two-time world champion Alexandra Recchia, whom you defeated in the semifinals. Aside from getting a better scouting report, does this win give you a much-needed boost in confidence and in terms of mental edge heading to other international competitions?
Yes, exactly that. So now when I come back here, I just rest one day and we keep training again, but I'm the most confident now because of that. I know I can do it. even my opponent is strong, I can do it. So now my feeling also very good.
Last year, you made a decision to train in Serbia, and obviously, it's paying off. But in what areas did the training in Serbia help in supplementing your growth and improvement as a karateka?
Yes, why I choose for Serbia, because it's coming from over the world, the top players. It's making for me more like be motivated, because I saw to the direct what they do effort for standing this way. So before, only I know what I do, but I can show now. I can show the what they do for the aiming for the goals. So it's more like inspired me. So that's why I need grow, because I need catch up them. If you stop your moving, they can easy to leave me, because they are so high, stay high than me. But now I try to catch them. So I keep my hard work, and now it's working, I think.
Now that you moved to number 8 in the world rankings after winning the gold medal in Lisbon, you are 4 spots away from entering the top 4, which will qualify you for Tokyo. Do you feel that the qualifiers in Paris this June is a must win?
Yes, I must win, because it's more like earlier. You can get earlier announcement to you can go to you have the ticket. I don't want to wait like next way. So now most easy way is we must get ticket in Paris, because I don't want to wait who will go next like that. So it's very stress for us. So now I just focus to win in Paris.
Now, how's the progress? How's the progress of your training for the qualifiers in Paris?
Yes, before, when I play in Portugal or Istanbul, it was my categories 50 below. But in Paris, next tournament, I will play more heavy category, like below 55. So my opponent is more tall and more heavy than before. Now I training make strong my physical, and I always think about they have more reach than me. So how I catch them, or how block, or like that. So I'm more training about my mental to fighting with that.
How happy are you that you will be joined by other Filipino karatekas in Paris in an attempt to qualify for the Olympics?
Yes, we did training maybe 1 year more ago, because now this COVID situation, I can't go back anymore in Philippines. So, but I know they do also hard work now. So I'm very looking forward to see them, and I'm very excited to fighting with them in the big tournament.
Karate will make its debut in Tokyo, and if the fates allow, you will be the first athlete to represent the Philippines in karate on the Olympic stage. Have you already realized the historical significance of being able to get that chance to represent the country in Tokyo?
Yes, we know, everybody knows that, because now in Paris 2024 Olympics, they remove karate. So we don't know when is the next time if we pass this Tokyo. That's why all people are strict to aiming this gold. But we know that, but it's similar like if you want to get gold medal in world champion, also you must go to the Olympics. So for me, I know that, but I'm not too much pressure. I don't have too much pressure about that. I'm just excited.
Juna, thank you for being with us today, and we wish you the best.
Thank you so much. I will do my best.
And that's Juna Chuki. I'm 𝐏𝐤𝐤𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐲𝐚𝐬. Sumasaludo sa atletang Pilipino. Stay tuned for more sports news and features only here on Team Pilipinas.
Bahagi na ng buhay nating mga Pilipino ang sports. Mula sa panahon ng unos, sa tamis ng tagumpay. Sa kabila ng pagbabago ng buhay, ang Philippine Sports Commission ay patuloy na magigilingkod sa sambayanan at atletang Pilipino.
Welcome to Team Pilipinas. I'm 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐲𝐚𝐬. In athletics, 3 more Filipinos could join 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐸𝐤𝐢 in Tokyo. However, they have until June 29 to make the final cut. We are now joined by PATAFA Training Director Renato Nonoy Unso and PATAFA National Coach Jeffrey Chua to break down the chances of 𝐓𝐞𝐚𝐦, Natalie Rose Uy, and Christina Knott to secure a spot in the Olympics. Let's start off with Natalie Rose Uy. Coach Nonoy, at this point, what are her chances of joining EJ in the same event in Tokyo?
Natalie Uy, yung performance niya is 4 meters 20, 470 yung standard. I think, in my honest opinion, mahirapan kang mag-increase ng 50 centimeters within ilang months na lang ngayon. No? And ang qualifying is, tapos na ata yung qualifying by June. So, 50 centimeters, may posible pero mahirap gawin.
Coach Jeffrey, Natalie sustained a wrist injury late last year. If she gets the ticket to Tokyo, is this a cause for concern in her campaign?
Yes, definitely. Especially in pole vaulting, injured yung hand, it's impossible for her to really train that much by holding that pole. Maybe it will cause some concern for her during training and during competition as well. So I agree with Sir Unso. She will be having hard time to really catch up sa standard she's trying to hit.
Coach Nonoy, if Natalie won't make it to Tokyo this year, what are the next steps for her, and where did she fall short in achieving her Olympic dream?
Alam mo, like what you said, nagkaroon si Natalie Uy ng injury sa wrist. And ang naging problema is yung sarado yung mga stadium. Ang pole vault hindi basta-basta. It's not like running na pwede mong gawin sa labas, di ba? Yung pole vault, you need the foam and the landing mat and the pole. And ang hirap pa, nagkaroon siya ng injury sa wrist. So, but anyway, kung hindi man siya ma-qualify ngayon, we hope that she will qualify. But kung hindi man ngayon, meron pa namang SEA Games, meron pa naman Asian Games.
Now, Coach Jeffrey, now let's turn to Christina Knott. She finished 5th in her most recent competition. Do you think that's enough for her to make the cut?
Yeah, one of the most sought after na Filipino Olympian right now. We're really trying to support her in terms of boosting her confidence kasi little na lang yan. So I think she can make it with few more competitions in around Italy or inside Europe. There might be a chance that she can qualify right away. So I think she said she has 2 more competitions to go. Then we hope we can join her in Olympic bid. So possible.
Coach Nonoy, if not this year, do you believe that with the quality she possesses as an athlete, Christina Knott is destined to be an Olympian no matter how long it will take?
Definitely, yes. Pero sigurado makaka-join ng Olympics yan kahit hindi niya ma-hit yung standard because we have what you call the gender equality. Kapag may na-qualify na lalaki, magpapadala ka ng babae. Pero sa tinatakbo niya, biro mo yung 200 meters niya is 0.003. 23.01 na siya Ang i-hit lang niya is 22.8 Isang ano lang yun. Isang sa start lang yun.
Now let's talk about 𝐓𝐞𝐚𝐦. 𝐓𝐞𝐚𝐦 came up with his season's best in Lubbock, Texas, to stay on the hunt for an Olympic berth. Do you think it's still doable on his part, Coach Jeffrey?
He has to really double time, no? She has to really work doubly extra. Of course, that's 400, 400. Then you have to do the hurdling pa. So, of course, everybody's hoping that he can make it. Who knows? There's few time trials to go. Again, we're hoping that he can make it.
Coach Nonoy, Eric is 32 years old. He said this on record. My biggest challenge now is I'm getting older. Do you think this is a now or never situation for Eric Cray?
I think that's now or never. Kasi talagang lahat tayo hinahabol ng edad eh. And of course, alam nyo si Eric Cray, talagang he has determination, meron siyang determination, but ang problema is economy. Nagtatrabaho pa siya sa Amerika at the same time nagte-training siya. Isang napakahirap na bagay na gawin mo. Tapos nagpapa-qualify ka in the one of the biggest sports competition, which is the Olympics. Ang hirap gawin. And you also take care of the family. Napakahirap gawin yan sa Amerika, but we're hoping that he can make it.
Coach Jeffrey, do you agree?
Yes, I totally agree. You cannot really do two things at the same time at your best. So support your family, support your work, and then at the same time aiming for Olympics. Pero that's a quality of a hardworking Filipino. Just talagang his desire to hit the standard, to hit the Olympic game right away. It's a tall order for him, but he's doing it for himself and for the Filipinos also.
Coaches, if you will be given the chance to pick one among the three hopefuls, which athlete do you think is ripe for the Olympics and deserving to join 𝐏𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐸 and other Filipino Olympians in Tokyo? Let's start with Coach Jeffrey.
In the men's side, we have already qualified. We have one man qualified, who is 𝐏𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐸𝐸. So for the women's side, it's still an open slot, meaning if nobody can hit the standard right away, maybe Patafa or through Sir Unso can nominate either Christina Nat or maybe Natalie. It depends on them. But once I think to answer your question, Christina Nat has the highest chance of getting to the Olympics right away.
Coach Nonoy, take it away.
I agree na si Christina Nat, and she's performing really well sa kanyang competition. At alam nyo, may mga ranking yan may mga point system silang nilalagay para ma-qualify sa Olympics. Kung hindi mo siya na-hit yung standard, may mga point system I think si Christina ang most qualified.
By looking at the records 𝐏𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐸𝐸 broke and how he performs right there and then, you can say he is a special athlete, but let's dissect it a bit as to how he is a one-of-a-kind talent. Coach Nonoy, what are the distinct qualities that set EJ apart from others?
Si EJ, for me, sobrang focus yung bata na yan. Just to give you an example, nag-leave of absence yan para lang makapag-training ng pole vault. And sa school, biro mo, nagsakripisyo siya na mag-leave of absence para mag-training. And hindi ko alam kung 3 o 2 Christmas na siyang hindi siya kasama ng kanyang mga magulang. So ganun ka-focus si EJ. He's not only talented sa academe but also sa kanyang specific sports, pole vault.
Coach Jeffrey, the pandemic has put a dent on the activities of every athlete preparing for Tokyo. But EJ managed to continue training as well as compete. Coach Jeffrey, do you think that gives EJ a slight edge heading to Tokyo?
Kung sino yung medyo lamang sa ensayo, lamang sa opportunity, which is yung may landing pit or meron siyang training area, so medyo nakakalamang.
What aspects should EJ work on? He has basically less than 3 months to prepare.
Alam naman natin na sa pandemic konti yung competition But yung kanilang mga team managers dun sa Fornia, where EJ is training, hinahanap talaga sila ng competition. And to give you a good example, kasama ni EJ si Tiago, yung gold medalist ng pole vault sa Olympics. So napakaganda kung may competition si Tiago kasi isang training camp lang sila, nakakapunta ron si EJ.
Can you agree that having Vitaly Petrov in his corner is a game changer in his development as an athlete?
As we all know, Coach Vitaly Petrov is well known across all over the world, no? So we are very fortunate enough to have him around with 𝐏𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐩𝐢𝐧𝐚𝐬. We will learn so much. As much as possible, we can absorb. That's why sometimes Coach Emerson, his father coach, is always in communication with Coach Vitaly. The transfer of knowledge directly from the great Vitaly. So wala tayong talo doon in terms of transfer of knowledge, directly being given to our 𝐏𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐲𝐢𝐳. And then someday, of course, yung Philippine pole vaulting will surely benefit from it.
Pinakamaganda kay Vitaly is not only he has the experience, but he has the power to give plenty of competition to the pole vaulters. They travel sa buong Europe eh. Yun ang maganda kay Vitaly, connections. He has the connection, he has the talent, matalino, magaling. So yun ang nagbibigay ng confidence kay EJ na nakita niya na binibigyan silang halaga ng isang world champion coach. So yun, I think, is one of the best na magiging advantage.
Now, let's talk about the opposition in Tokyo. What do you think, or which country do you think will give EJ a tall order? Let's start with Coach Nonoy.
Ang pinakamalakas na magiging kalaban niya ay, of course, yung si Duplantis, yung world record holder ngayon, which is 6.18 meters. And of course, nandiyan si Tiago. But hindi rin ako nawawalan ng kay EJ ng kumpiyansa kasi itong bata na to nagsimula talaga sa napakababa eh. Hanggang sa naging Southeast Asian champion, naging one of the Asia's best, at ngayon as nasa ranking siya, I think si EJ nasa number 17 or something like that in the world. So yun yung malaking kumpiyansa ko na kahit na malalakas yung kalaban ni EJ ngayon sa Tokyo Olympics, magpuproduce tayo ng medal sa pole vault.
In jumping events, especially horizontal events, high jump and pole vault, there is a slim chance of masiro yung mga kalaban eh. There's a big chance eh. This is well documented. The past great pole vaulters, nasisiro sila sometimes. So there is a slim possibility that EJ, if kumbaga luck or the suerte comes into his way, he might get into the top 3.
By looking at the caliber of opposition that he beat at the Ostrava Golden Spike meet in September 2020, do you think, Coach Jeffrey, do you think EJ will be the one to finally bring home the first gold medal for the country?
Yes, in that merit alone, as you can see, he has a big chance talaga to get that podium place, no? We're not discounting the gold, we're not discounting the silver. That's we're aiming for that. EJ is aiming for that. Kasi that's height eh. So as I said a while ago, you will never know until you go there.
Do you think the medal in the Olympics is the last remaining prerequisite for athletics or pole vaulting in this case to finally skyrocket?
Ay, oo naman. And EJ has proven that he is one of the best in the world. Itong mga nakaraang competition, tinalo niya yung mga champion, kasama na si Tiago. So, I think isang malaking factor yon kung manalo tayo sa pole vault ng medal or gold medal sa Olympics, talagang katulad din niya ng weight training. Katulad noon, yung mga billiard, di ba? Sila Efren Bata Reyes, talagang sumikat at lumakas yung mga performer, mga athletes natin. And I hope that will help.
Coach Jeffrey, Coach Nonoy, thank you and glad to have you on the program today.
Bahagi na ng buhay nating mga Pilipino ang sports. Mula sa panahon ng unos, sa tamis ng tagumpay, sa kabila ng pagbabago ng buhay, ang Philippine Sports Commission ay patuloy na maglilingkod sa sambayanan at atletang Pilipino.
Hello, I'm Dennis Principe for Team Pilipinas, and for today we will be talking about the sports of squash. Isa po sa mga sports na masabi natin na unti-unti ay gumagawa na rin po ng magandang pangalan sa larangan po ng Philippine sports, and joining us para pag-usapan palalo ang beauty ng kanyang sport, ang squash, is the first ever Filipino, both male and female, na makapasok po sa top 100 ng world rankings, 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐲 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢, magandang araw sa iyo at welcome sa Team Pilipinas.
Hello po, magandang hapon din po at salamat po sa pag-invite.
Okay, and 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢, narinig mo yung intro ko sa iyo, na bihira
Yes,
yung ganong sport, na ikaw lang nag-iisa, namumugot tangay sa babae at sa lalaki. Kapag ka naririnig mo yun, although medyo matagal na rin yun, it's been a few years na nakuha mo yun. Right now, gaano ba na-feel mo pagka naririnig mo yung ganong achievement mo?
Siyempre po masaya kasi matagal ko na po kasing dream na makapag-compete po, professional. 2016 po nung pumasok ako ng pro. And siyempre po hindi po mangyayari yun kung hindi po dahil sa approval and tulong and support po nung president po namin, which is Robert Bachman po. Yan, malaking bagay po siya sa amin. Ayun po, masaya kasi po hindi po madali makapasok doon, especially hindi naman po kilala yung event nyo. Pero super thankful po na napagbigyan ng chance, and for me, worth it po.
And 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥, alam mo sa Pilipinas, usually pagkababaihan, ang sport niyan right now, number one, volleyball, unti-unti yung women's boxing, nandiyan na rin yung mga contact sport, marami tayo sa kababaihan, karate, taekwondo. Ikaw, bakit yun ang napili mo na a sport na siguro para karamihan sa mga kababayan natin ay hindi pa talaga masyado alam ang sport na yun, dahil alam na ang squash, pagkain.
Yes po. Totoo po. Opo. Sa volleyball, di po kasi ako katangkaran. Ayun nga po, lagi ko pong sinasabi, main reason po kung bakit nasa racket sports po ako. Dahil po dun sa father ko. So, yung father ko po kasi naglalaro, trainer po siya ng tennis sa Makati Sports Club. So, parang kami, during, nung bata po kami, hindi po kasi kami pinapalabas ng bahay. So, ang ginagawa po ng father ko, palagi na lang po kami niyang dinadala dun sa club kung saan po siya nag-work. Every summer po, may summer clinic po ng tennis, badminton, and squash. Palagi po kami nag-join doon. Kahit saan po na racket sports. Kaya doon din po ako napunta. And then, ayun nga po, nung na-try ko po yung sports na squash, unique, and talaga pong sabihin na po natin na na-fall ako dun sa sport, and ang dami ko pa pong gustong ma-achieve. Talagang gustong-gusto ko po siya. Yun po. Kaya po ako napunta sa squash.
Mm-hmm. Yung nabanggit mong kwento,
yes po.
Common yan. Marami nangyayaring gano'n. Yung mga magulang, dinadala yung anak. Karamihan nga, iba, sinasabi, nagpapwersa. Mayroong mga anak na pipilitan. Eventually, nagdalaga, nagbinata, iba tinutuloy, iba hindi. Sa iba, yung simula ba, ganun din? May struggle din? Parang kahit paano pinilit mo rin yung sarili mo para lang sumunod ka sa gusto ng father mo?
Sa akin po, hindi. Sa amin po kasi magkakapatid. Lahat po kami talaga, yung iba po nag-tennis, tapos yung iba din po nag-squash. Ako po talaga, hindi po ako nag-stop. Pero may mga times po na dumating na talagang nag-struggle din po ako, nahirapan ako. Pero yung father ko po kasi talagang sobrang ma-push po siya. Hindi ka po talaga niya tutukuan. Kahit gigisingin ka niya sa umaga. And tsaka yung time nga po na nabubuhay pa siya, talagang kahit sa training ko po, andyan siya, palagi siyang nanonood. Binabantayan ako, sasamahan po ako kung saan. Mag-aasikaso ng mga requirements na kailangan, mga ganun po. So, ako po talaga nagustuhan ko po talaga yung sports.
So, it's good right now yung sport nakikilala na. But early part of your career, nabanggit mo nga 2016 ka mo na-achieve, no? Yung pumasok ka sa top 100 ng world rankings. But around that time, I would like to think na medyo mahirap sa sport mo dahil mahirap kumuha ng sponsor and everything, suporta. But ganun ba yung naging situation mo? And kung ganun man, what made you stick dito sa sport na to para ituloy mo hanggang sa umabot ka nga sa magiging one of the top 100 players in the world?
Okay po. Bali, 2016 po ako nung pumasok nag-register sa pro po. Pero less than a year lang po nakapasok na po ako sa top 100. Opo. Bali, masasabi ko po, one of the reason kung bakit po ako nagpapatuloy and bakit mas madami pa po kung gusto i-achieve. Dahil din po yun, part po nung pag-i-struggle ko, yung nagpapapush po sa akin. Bali, parang nung time po kasi na nandyan yung father ko, yun po yung mga isang bagay na tinuro niya sa akin. Kaya parang the more po na nahihirapan ako, parang the more po na gusto kong lumaban. Like katulad nga po ng sabi nyo, ang hirap po na makakuha ng sponsor, ganyan. Actually po, dumating po ako sa point na ako na po talaga gumagawa ng paraan para po makapag-compete ako. Kasi kung tutusin, hindi naman po talaga pwede na lahat na lang po iasa nyo sa PSC, di ba po? And especially yung president din po namin, as in, lahat po ginagawa niya para sa amin. So parang ako po, minsan, pag di po kaya na ng budget or hindi na po kayang i-approve ng PSC, ako na po mismo, gumagawa po ako ng paraan. Kasi yun din po yung ginagawa ng father ko before, nung bata pa po ako. Hinahanapan niya po ako ng mag-sponsor sa akin ng raketa or kaya ng shoes ko po. So parang sa kanya ko po nakuha yung idea na yun. Kaya po, yung mga tournament ko po na iba, ako na po actually yung gumagastos doon. Parang kung yung inipon ko po yung sarili kong pera o kaya kumukuha din po ako ng ibang tao po na pwedeng tumulong sa akin. Ayun nga po, ganun po yung ginagawa ko, kaya din po. Malaking tulong din po yun para tumaas po yung ranking ko.
Okay, and with that, maraming salamat sa iyo, 𝐏𝐤𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐲 Ribado, and good luck.
Yes po. Yeah. Thank you po. Maraming salamat po sa pag-invite.
And we look back on the days of glory of Olympian and outstanding female SEA Games athlete, 𝐓𝐞𝐚𝐦 𝐏𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐷.
All these wonderful opportunities would not have come to me if not for my involvement in sports. And it's also God's hand, right?
Bahagi na ng buhay nating mga Pilipino ang sports. Mula sa panahon ng unos, sa tamis ng tagumpay, sa kabila ng pagbabago ng buhay, ang Philippine Sports Commission ay patuloy na maglilingkod sa sambayanan at atletang Pilipino.
partnership between the Philippine Sports Commission and the Commission on Higher Education was formalized earlier this year. Building our educational infrastructure in sports will be greatly helped by a new law that brings the PSC and education sector together with the National Academy of Sports.
The responsibility of CHED in the National Sports Academy is to make sure that the curriculum that they take in the secondary level can easily be connected to whatever degree the student athletes would want to take when they go to the higher education level. So in curriculum ng National Sports Academy, there should be a seamless transition from secondary school to higher education. So that is part of the whole framework of DepEd, CHED, PSC working together in creating a smooth transition from K to 12 to higher education in sports development of athletes. Okay. It will also mean, as I said earlier, we will work with the PSC on developing a continuing professional development program for coaches. That is an urgent matter that we have to work on, because I have noticed, for example, in many public and private universities in the higher education level, that their coaches are PE teachers. And the PE teachers are graduates of the Bachelor of Science in elementary or high school or secondary education with specialization in sports. Or their PE teachers are former school athletes that have gone back to coaching. Okay, we have to address that particular sector because we have to continuously train them and create a certification level for them so that there is continuous development, benchmarking with best practices abroad. That is an urgent matter that is part of the collaborative activity between PSC and CHED. No? Number 3, I have discussed with Chairman Butch the need to focus on the development of the assets of universities, particularly in sports. Designing and managing sports facilities. Medyo mahina tayo dyan. And I think you know that, Bill, when you go to the different universities all over, the track and field ovals, you know, medyo hindi up to standards, you know, yung design niyan. That is a very technical and there is science needed to it, and the expertise may not be available in many parts of the country. So we have to do an asset inventory, asset management of the sports facilities of our universities. We also have to generate data about the sports programs of our universities. There was already a law passed in the last Congress requiring all higher education institutions to submit their sports programs, sports expenditures. The IRR has been finished by CHED. It is being implemented now. Why the need to put all of these reports and data together? Some of the universities initially were hesitant and alarmed because they were concerned that they will be giving information, you know, from what they're doing. I said, this is to help everyone, because when we map out across both public and private universities the types of sports activities, the resources that you allocate to it, we will get a very good picture of where government can come in and assist. Because now, government is blind when it wants to assist the sports development of universities because they don't have the data. It is not evidence-based decision-making. You want to invest in developing the sports facilities, you don't know what is the condition of the track and field oval or the basketball court. You don't know how much was spent for it, how much is needed to spend for it. You cannot benchmark versus other universities that have been able to establish their facilities, you know, at the same cost. They do not know who are the good designers. So if we have this data, which we will share with the Philippine Sports Commission, government assistance will be better targeted. The resources will be better spent because we know where to spend it, how to spend, how to monitor, and how to hold our universities accountable for the use of public funds. So very important yung meron tayong data across the board. For example, we asked the question, bakit ang Lasal, ang Ateneo, ang gaganda ng sports program nila? We've got to learn from the good schools. How much are they spending? How are they investing their resources? How are they managing their facilities? All of that, you must get data to map that out, and then you must have continuous capacity building for the universities to teach them how to benchmark and how to do it on their own. Yun namang mga presidente ng mga state universities and smaller private universities, of course, they're very good managers, but you know, sports management is a very different field. You know, baka wala silang expertise na ganun, or their officials don't have the expertise to do it. So that is where CHED and the Philippine Sports Commission can provide assistance. So there are many other areas, but we're very problem-driven. Ano yung mga immediate na kailangang gawin na ng PSC at saka CHED?
Okay, thank you very much, Chairman. That's quite a bit to digest, and I look forward to seeing all these programs come through.
Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
The greatest legends of Philippine sports are recognized by just one name. Lydia, Elma, Paeng, 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐷. 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐷 Guevara's breathtaking career catapulted swimming into the mainstream and inspired generations of aspiring mermaids. Now, she continues to give back to all sports in as many ways as she can.
Thank you very much, Boyet. 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢, to begin with, what was the attraction of swimming to you?
It was just one of actually many different activities I did growing up, but I took to the water. My siblings were doing it with me, so it was fun to be with them. I'm very competitive by nature, so I like that aspect of it. But yeah, it was just a fun thing in the beginning, and I just really, it developed from there through the years.
All right, and you are the second youngest Filipino athlete to make it to the Olympics. As a kid, you know, because you were just a kid then, what was that like to walk into the Olympics as a competitor?
I was very wide-eyed. Everything, as you say, everything. I was just like, wow. Everything was just a large scale. But I guess also the good thing about it, I didn't know what to expect, and I was very, you know, my coach was like my second father, and I just followed instructions really well.
Did it, you know, bother you when you realized, you know, everybody's older, bigger, stronger, faster than me?
No, you know what? I just. Again, I did whatever my coach told me I was going to do. I went out there, I swam so-and-so, and yeah, so it was, and I guess, you know, Bill, you know, previous to that, I had been at the Southeast Asian Games, and there was a Southeast Asian age group. So, you know, it's a similar format, but in a much larger scale. So you're kind of one step, the next step a little bigger. And so, yes, of course, I was very, it was large. It was nervous. It was, you know, there were nerves and everything. But I'm a good soldier, you know, and so, you know, I take orders well and I execute. Just do it.
All right, and then you know, a few years after that, of course, the SEA Games came to Manila in 1991, and that was probably your most indelible performance. What was that experience like? Competing here in front of the home crowd?
Awesome, really, just that's the best gift, I think, experience for an athlete to have, is to compete in front of the home territory, because the support, it's just wild, and the energy is so, your hair just stands up. And especially with a sport like swimming, that it's not like basketball that enjoys a lot of fans and people come watch them. You don't get any of that. And the stadiums are rarely packed. So just having, seeing all that and then hearing them chant our names was just surreal. Really, it's one of the best. I'm so blessed to have been able to participate in those SEA Games in particular.
And I remember you were telling me that since the tennis court was right behind you, the crowds are sort of like cheering with each other.
On the roof, there were people on the roof, and then because LaSalle was right beside, the students were up on top. You could see them watching over, peering in, and it's that just boosts your makes you all the more want to deliver.
Mm-hmm. And you were already the outstanding female athlete of the games, and yet I recall you saying something like you were blaming yourself when the country came short in the overall championship.
Yeah, well, because at those games I won 2 golds and 2 silvers, individual medals at least, and it was an experience that I had at where we were staying. The bellboy said to me, "Mom, bakit ka nag-second?" And I just felt like, oh, I let him down. I felt like I let people down. And then it's obviously that's not what was meant, but that's what I felt hearing that. And then on top of that, we lose the overall by one medal, 1 gold. So then you're thinking, oh man,
it could have been
I just won. And they're in the sprint event. So all these events are like point hundreds of a second. So it's just you put a lot of you blame yourself.
You guys had laid such a great foundation for the sport. It had become really mainstream. You inspired so many little girls to start jumping into the water. What did you think would happen after you guys retired?
I don't know. I don't think, Bill, honestly, I don't think I really thought of that. I guess, of course, you hope that you inspire a new generation of people who want to. I have to say, Jasmine was someone I knew from as a little girl. I actually went to her very first international competition in Japan.
Wow.
She was like 11 years old, I think it was, and it was a Japanese coach. His name slips my mind right now, but I was an assistant helping out, and yeah, so that was really it's been really fun to see her blossom as an athlete, because I feel very much invested in her, and happy to see that. I guess so again, going back to your question, I don't know that I was really consciously thinking about it, but I was, I really enjoyed kind of walking literally side by side, but watching someone like Jasmine just really go places.
Okay. And lastly, since you retired, you've really just been giving back to sports in so many ways. You were a commissioner of the Philippine Sports Commission. You're working actively with the Philippine Olympians Association, and you're working with the Special Olympics. Why is it that what is it that keeps on driving you to keep giving back to sports?
Well, Bill, it's really formed who I am, and it's really directed the course of my life. Soon after college, I came back. I entered media, but in sport, I was hosting a sports show. All these wonderful opportunities would not have come to me if not for my involvement in sports. And it's also God's hand, right, Bill? I mean, the whole Special Olympics thing. If it weren't for my daughter who was born, and when she came into my life, I knew I would be a voice in this world. I would do something at some point. I just didn't know what it was. And when the Special Olympics opportunity came up, it was just, perfect, right? Sports, and special needs merging, and so that's why I got involved in that. But it's all, I mean, I think it's a progression, right? I initially I was giving value swimming first thing, and then the Philippine Olympians was started, and of course I've been so blessed. I sat on that board, and yeah, I don't know, I guess, Bill, when you're so blessed, there's so much to share, to give. Yeah.
Thanks for your time, 𝐏𝐤𝐥𝐢𝐥𝐢𝐬𝐷. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks for keeping it short and sweet, Bill.
All right, take care. See you soon.
And that's this week's episode of Team Pilipinas. I'm Boyet Sison. Join us every Saturday at 4 p.m. only here on PTV. Para sa bayan. And always remember, we are all on the same team. We are all Team Pilipinas. See you next week.